Hello, everyone. We're back with part two of our series where we are talking about the power of selling at an event, whether it's a virtual event that you host online for people all around the world, or an in-person event, which you can still host for people all around the world. Whatever floats your boat, everything we talk about in this series applies to either or. It can be a virtual event or in person. The whole purpose of this series is to show you how when you show your genius and you are confident in your offer in front of an audience, it is prime opportunity to make sales in your business, make impact in other people's lives, and have a lot of fun because you're in the energy with everyone. But it's Biz Besties. So before we get into it, Kayla, what are you grateful for?
Reflecting on what you just said and what we're going to talk about today of how to sell when you're live, I'm so grateful for my background in live selling and my background in events. It all started with my huge family. And when we have a family party, there's going to be 40 or 50 people there. So we need to make sure we have enough food for everyone and everybody has their defined roles of what they're going to bring. And somebody has to host the party, and then everybody pitches in to help clean up. And coming from a big family has lots of advantages in that you can handle a lot of volume of people and energy. But then, secondly, in fundraising, we did so many events. And so, my background in understanding how to host an event that makes people feel really special. And for us in My Aligned Purpose, there's an educational component always. And in fundraising, there's usually celebrating and then asking for money live. So, we are, Nicole and I, between the two of us, so comfortable and happy to bring people into our world from the energy of a live event. And we want to show you that today. I'm grateful for my background. What about you?
I think I'll just springboard off of that. I'm grateful for all of I feel like it's so trendy right now to say like the rooms I've put myself in, but I can't think of another way to say it. But I'm so grateful for all of the rooms I've put myself in, whether they have been online spaces, master classes, masterminds, or events. As we record this, we're about to head off to Powerhouse Women for our second year in a row. And I know the power of putting yourself in a room where people are facilitating, sharing from their heart, being vulnerable. It takes a lot of courage to be up on stage, whether you're confident and comfortable in that or not. It still takes courage to grab a microphone and speak in front of five people or 500 or 5,000. And I appreciate the part of myself that actually enjoys being a participant in those rooms because I always walk away inspired with, oh, here's how we can put our flair on that for our next master class or our next live event or retreat or whatever it might be. And I want to add a second thing I'm grateful for. Speaking of live events, at She Leads this year, it was our first year going event rather than retreat style and opening it up to the public. We closed off the weekend of She Leads with an Align CEO only day. And the
Mhm.
feedback we got from Align CEOs was that that was their favorite day of She Leads. And so we were like, okay, there's something to be said here for we've always done our events primarily just for Alliance CEOs, and then we get this feedback that was their favorite day. And so we just announced and just launched our 2 day VIP mastermind content creation dinner party experience for Alliance CEOs only this coming fall. And I'm so grateful that we are open and receptive to feedback because that's what we heard they wanted was more time together. And so you and I just make it happen. And I cannot wait for all of us to be together again in October. And if you're listening to
Mhm.
this and you're like, oh my gosh, a 2 day back-to-back event where you would get to attend a dinner party, you'd get to live mastermind, have hot seat coaching, and have content creation done for your brand, and you want that, then just join Align CEO Method and you get it. It's included. It's a bonus event for our people. So yeah, I'm feeling full of gratitude.
Yeah, me too. We really take surprises and delights to the next level. We're out of this stratosphere onto the next one with our surprises and delights. And we think about our events as a business expense, as a marketing expense, as a way to treat our clients like gold, and how to bring people in who also align with that energy. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Our true belief is that when you are confident in what it is that you're selling, whether you're selling a product. We can hear from Jamie Kern Lima, who sold It Cosmetics in front of thousands of people on TV and on stages, or you're selling a service like we sell coaching and education. It does not matter if you're a product-based or a service-based business. When you are confident in what you have for sale and you get the opportunity to be in front of people, how are you going to use that opportunity? How are you going to weave it in? And I would say that let's kick it off with one of the things that we've seen people do, I guess I'll say incorrectly, or what they could have done better, is waiting until the very last moment. So imagine you're hosting this live masterclass and you're so excited and you're going to tell everybody about what's coming next, but you leave it until the very last moment and people have either logged off or they've checked out or they feel like they've gotten everything that they need from you already. And then you go and pitch what's for sale and you've got 5 minutes left and you're rushing and you've not been able to give people those details, or you're hosting a live event and everybody's in the energy and it's fun, and then you leave it until the very end. Hey, here's how we can work together. But there's no like deeper details or background of what that looks like, then you're really leaving a lot on the table and you're missing a big portion of people that you could be serving.
Yeah, totally. I think we learned this the hard way through virtual events because we've been hosting 5 day challenges and workshops and all sorts of stuff since May 2020. So
Mhm.
now we're like 5.5 years into hosting live virtual events and also live in-person events. And in the beginning, there weren't really any, I don't know, like frameworks to follow in terms of how other people were doing those master classes. It was really when that started to happen. We were just on the front end of it. We were showing up and giving people a taste of what it's like to work together so that we could continue on if they want to come and work with us. And I think maybe we came up with the idea or the concept from both of our backgrounds in yoga and fitness, how they have those like 30-day challenges in yoga studios and it engages everybody. So we wanted to do that for Manifesting Money Masterclass. So Nicole put that together on Facebook. And then we were like, okay, let's teach a course on manifesting and money. So that was the beginning of it all. And we learned that if you teach and then you rush through the sales pitch, the balance is off, the energy is off. So basically, from 2020 or 2021, we incorporate the conversation about this is what we're going to sell at the end of the call, or this is what the opportunity we have for you to join us. If you love this, stick around. If you love this, come and go deeper with us. If you love this, we'll support you individually with your business or whatever that looks like right at the beginning so that you're not surprising people, yeah, or rushing it, leaving it to the last second. So weaving that throughout is super important.
Yeah. And as we prepared for She Leads, which happened this past end of April, we, of course, asked our mastermind community, our peers, and our coach, what are we missing here? Here's our strategy. We want to make sure we go into this really well prepared of how to pull off an epic event that leaves
Yeah.
people talking and excited and wanting to come back, but also that invites them into this deeper work that we do together. If you enjoyed this weekend, imagine what it's like to spend an entire year together. How can we relay that message? And the same thing came from Chris, who's our like 8-figure mentor, and people who are in our mastermind who lots of them, their whole entire business is just events. And everybody said the same thing. Just make sure you weave your message throughout the entire day. And that was so natural for us because everything we do inside of Aligned CEO Method. So when I reflect back to the full Saturday at She Leads, and we're talking about money mindset. We're talking about how that's a huge part of Aligned CEO Method. When we're giving the stage to clients to speak and tell their story, we're saying, this is how we empower people inside of Aligned CEO Method. They want a microphone, we give it to them. When we have our guest speakers on the Health is Wealth panel, or we had the Women in Business panel, it all tied back to these are the conversations and the work that we do and the strategy that we do inside of Aligned CEO Method. So it actually felt really easy for us. And I would encourage for those of you who are listening to this and you're thinking about hosting an event, whether it's virtual or in person, and you're thinking like, oh, how do I sell? And I don't want it to come off as salesy or sleazy or whatever. If you naturally talk about what you do and you build your event around that, it's going to feel effortless. It will feel easy.
Yeah, how you help.
Yeah, how you help. It feels easy to talk about how you help. It's not like, where do I fit in the sales pitch? It's, oh, am I going to talk about align seat method all day? We did, just in different ways.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about this for your event, think about the topic of the event fitting right into what you're selling at the event. So there's that. That's like number one. Pay attention to that. If it does not relate, you're going to have a really hard time relating your offer, what you're selling, how you're serving to your event because they're not the same thing. So make sure that those two things relate. The other thing is that you only want to sell one thing
Mhm.
and you need a deadline on it. And it
Mhm.
has to be a thought out offer, preferably that you've either sold before or you're pitching it like this is brand new. I've never sold this before, and being really excited and transparent around that in terms of this is the best thing that's ever happened up until now. Come and join. And if you have sold it before, from our experience, you will be better and better every time you talk about it. So it's either surprise, it's happening, or something that's tried, tested, and true. We were advised on from a couple of people when we were trying to decide what do we invite people into from She Leads. A couple of people were saying we should change our offer to be a shorter time span or to offer a different price point. And we ultimately decided, after tons and tons of debate, that the thing that we believe in is an ongoing, kind of live, facilitated, relationship driven, connection driven, networking driven mastermind of entrepreneurs who are serious about their business. And so if we compromise that because we're speculating on what we think people might want versus going with a tried, tested, and true offer that has room for more people to come in and grow, it'll just make it better and better. We decided to just go with what we already do. Now, you can make whatever decision you want to make. The key thing is stick to it. And we're not saying, okay, hi, it's Saturday, we're having the event. You can sign up anytime this week.
Mm-mm.
No, we need to give people an immediate reason to act and get attached bonuses or whatever you can attach to that immediate reason to act. Fast action bonus. This is what you're going to get right away. Give them what they want immediately. If it's like a handout, if it's access to the course, if you're doing something live, if you can give them something right away that's going to feel like a win, then your offer is going to be a lot more appealing than come and join me in 2 months, buy it by the end of the week. That's not urgent enough.
Something that you just said that I think is so powerful and such a great reminder for every single person listening, because we know that every entrepreneur is also working on or should be working on money mindset. And
Mm,
in the conversations that we had with a few different people who recommended, like, well, shorten the time frame of line CEO method so that you can say the price is lower. That conversation was also sparked during a time when lots of people were questioning what was happening in the economy, what was
hmm
happening with tariffs, what was happening with US dollar, Canadian dollar, that sort of thing. And we could have fallen into that fear of, oh my gosh, people aren't spending
hmm
money anymore. The economy is tanking, blah, 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 blah. Let's
hmm
just make this a shorter time frame and a lower price point. But that is ultimately not our belief. And because you and I work daily on money mindset, that is not our belief. And what ended up happening as a result from She Leads was that our business brought in over $200,000 of revenue in the 3 months following that. Now, if we had have shortened the time frame and lowered the price, we don't know. Like we can't say what would have happened. But something tells me that my belief would have been wavering on what we could deliver
hmm
6 months.
hmm
And at a lower price point, we would have had to have gotten double the amount of people selling something that we've never sold before because we don't sell 6 months of Alliance CEO method. So this is such a great reminder that when you truly do the money mindset work and you truly believe that you are the creator of your own economy and that your product is worth the price point you've put on it, you're not going to drop it drastically just because people are freaking out. You will see the rewards of sticking
hmm
to what you know is the value of the transformation.
Yeah, totally. It's not like it's a we made that up and we had no proof. That is a tested, proven product that's in the market that people purchase. So, yeah, or service, productized service. Yeah, I'm glad we stuck to it. And then if anyone's wondering about a great book to read about this, what's coming to me right now is Daniel Priestley's Oversubscribed. It's a book about creating hype, pulling off launches. It's not structured very well. When we read it, I was like, okay, I listened to it. I had to read it. I had to get, this is before AI, had to do my own book club download of this topic. But although it's like a couple years old, it's a really good book in terms of how to stick to your offer, how to sell things out, how to show up so that people trust you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for everybody listening to this episode, as we mentioned, this is part two of a series. We've got a couple more coming. We also want to let you know that if you are thinking about hosting an event or a retreat or a masterclass, like it doesn't matter what you're thinking about hosting, it's something that's going to gather people, and maybe they're not your clients yet, or they're a mix of an audience and clients. And you're thinking, but I don't know how to do that. I would need to hire an event planner or whatever you're thinking. We used to have some people in Align CEO be like, how do you two know how to pull off these 4 hour accelerators and teach within 4 hours? We can tell you how we do all of that. And we do tell you how we do all of that and host events like She Leads. And it's all available for you inside of Align CEO Method. So if you want to know how to host a big event, how to host a weekend long retreat, how to host a virtual event, you don't need to go hire an event planner and then a marketer and all these different people. That is the beauty of Align CEO Method, is that we share all of the resources that we use and that work, and we don't share the ones that didn't work because we're not going to have you waste your time the way we figured it out. And I won't say wasted our time, but trial and error. That's the whole point of mentorship, of mastermind, of coaching, to speed up the process and speed up the learning. So you don't need to go outsource all of these different people inside of our mastermind. We had somebody who came to She Leads, who has never hosted an event before, and joined Align CEO Method from She Leads, and now this month is hosting her first event. She's doing it
Hmm.
at a winery and like pulling it off. And I think that speaks to also, it's really hard to host an event or a masterclass if you've never attended one. So that might
Oh,
be
yes.
your very first step. If you want to host a retreat, an hour-long masterclass online, or a week-long event, or whatever it might be, please make sure you've attended one, two, a few, so
Mhm.
that you know what it's like to be on the consumer customer side of it and what makes it feel like, wow, that was an incredible client experience for me. And here's how I want to make people feel when they come to my event.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, stay tuned for part 3 coming up next week.
Woohoo!